Hello again, and welcome back to the Busy Business Owner's Guide to Marketing. It's so good to have you with us. In our last episode, we laid some important groundwork, and today we're tackling a trap I see so many brilliant founders fall into: the do-it-all delusion. It's that belief that we're saving money by being our own graphic designer, copywriter, and ad manager. But today, I want us to ask a really crucial question. What is your DIY marketing really costing you? We're going to look beyond the balance sheet and into your time, your results, and your sanity. All right, let's dive right into the biggest hidden cost, and it's a big one: opportunity cost. Think about it. Every hour you spend wrestling with a Canva design or trying to decipher Google Ads is a full hour you're not spending on what I like to call your genius zone activities. That's closing a sale, refining your product, or building those key client relationships that actually drive your business forward. It's easy to dismiss this as just being busy, but what if we could put a real number on that lost time? You might find it helpful to use a simple formula to quantify what that time is actually worth to your bottom line. It's often a real eye-opener. So how do we actually calculate that true hourly rate? What I suggest is moving away from the simple profit divided by hours model. Instead, you might find a value-based approach works much better. Let's walk through it. Think about the highest value activity you could be doing right now. If that's a client meeting that generates, say, $500, then your hourly rate for that specific hour is $500. Now, the big question: can you honestly say that designing a social media post provides that same $500 value? When you frame it that way, the decision to outsource suddenly looks less like an expense and more like a strategic investment. Now, let's talk about something I like to call the effectiveness gap. It's the crucial difference between simply getting a task done and getting it done well. You might find that you can design a social media ad, and that's a great start. But a professional brings layers of expertise that are hard to develop on the fly: deep, strategic thinking, precise audience targeting, and copywriting that actually motivates people to act. What I often see is a DIY campaign might get a few likes, but a professionally run one gets qualified leads and sales. The return on investment isn't even comparable. It's not just about completing the task, it's about the profitability of the result. And then there's something I call the tool trap. You might find this sounds familiar. You've got a subscription for Canva Pro, another for your social media scheduler, maybe one for an email platform, and another for stock photos. Individually, they seem like small, manageable monthly fees, but what I often suggest is to add them all up over a year. The total can be a real surprise. The interesting thing is, when you work with a marketing professional, they often bundle access to more powerful enterprise-level tools within their fee, so you could end up with better resources for a lower overall cost. But beyond the financial costs, there's a heavy non-financial price I see so many owners pay: the burnout factor. Marketing isn't just another item on your to-do list. It's a demanding discipline that requires both creative energy and analytical focus. What I find is that when you add this on top of your already full plate, it can lead to serious decision fatigue. You might notice that your energy for leading your team or making big strategic decisions starts to dip. This isn't just about feeling tired. It's about your core leadership capacity being drained by tasks that, frankly, aren't your best and highest use. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying DIY marketing is always a bad idea. When you're just starting out, it can be essential. But what I like to see is business owners recognizing the signals that it's time for a change. So, here's a little checklist you might find helpful. First, look at your time versus your results. Are you spending more than, say, 5 hours a week on marketing tasks, but not really seeing the needle move? That's a huge sign. Another is how you feel about it. If you actively dread opening your social media scheduler, that's your energy telling you something. And finally, there's a point in your business growth, a certain revenue level, where you'll find that delegation stops being an expense and becomes a powerful investment in your next stage of growth. So as we wrap up today's discussion, what I hope you'll take away is that the true cost of DIY marketing goes far beyond dollars and cents. You might find it's a combination of those lost opportunities, the results that feel a little mediocre, and that very real personal burnout. Your biggest asset, the one you can't get more of, is your time. What I often suggest is to invest it where it will yield the absolute highest return for you and your business. Next time, we'll dive into one of the most common DIY pitfalls. I do hope you'll join us for episode 3, Beyond the Boost Button, Crafting a Real Social Media Strategy that Converts.